Okay, you're going to do another one where you're dealing with the percents, but the table's not going to work, and you'll see, well, it can work, you just have to have a huge sheet of paper. Now this is different. I deposit $300 in the savings account. The account earns 5% interest each year. Compounded quarterly. Here's what quarterly means. And all the problems are going to say that. Quarterly means 4 times in a year. Now, you get it added a lot more times because, see, if I make the table like we were yesterday, X, Y, you'd have years and money. But quarterly means you can't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You would have to go 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. That's equal to 1, okay? Then 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4 is equal to 2, because 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now, this isn't going to work real well because we have to get to 12 years. That's going to take forever, okay? I would have to go all the way down to it's 48/4, okay? Now, here's how it works. We'll go down to 1 with the table, but we're not going to obviously go to the end. Now, this is actually kind of cool if I'm the one with the bank account because I get money added 4 times a year. That's the good news. By the way, you'd start at 300. But the bad news is you can't just take 5 plus 1 and put 1.0. 500 plus 5, 1. So here's what you were doing yesterday, which was correct. 105%, move decimal twice. Nope, doesn't work that way. What you have to do is make your 5% into a decimal, okay? So it's 0.05. You are going to divide that by 4, and then you're going to add 1, okay? And you add the 1 is like the 100%, okay? That's why I'm adding 1. That's like 100% just in decimal form, okay? So again, I take my 5%. I don't just add it to 100, okay? That's easier, but with quarterly, it's different, okay? So I take 0.05 divided by 4, and then I add the 1 on. So I'm not multiplying by 1.05. I'm multiplying by a smaller decimal to make up for the fact that I get the interest added on 4 times in a year. So it's like a different kind of what you're doing. So I take 300 times 1.0125, and I got $303.75. We'll go to the first full year, and then we'll teach you another way to do it. Times the same thing. I keep that on my calculator. 307.55. Okay, again. Same thing. 311.39. 315.28, and that's only after 1 year, okay? Well, that's going to take forever to get to 12 years, so we better learn the formula, and that's what this is for here. It's called the compound interest formula. Now, I know that looks confusing. I'm going to explain what everything means, and then hopefully it goes pretty smooth. Okay, y equals p, and then 1 plus r divided by n to the power of nt. Okay, so write out that formula. Just copy it down. So the table is going to take too long when doing this. Now, you need to list out what all these 4 letters are, what numbers they would be. So P equals, R equals, N equals, T equals. So your P is your dollars of deposit, and that's going to be 500. Your R is your percent, but it's got to be a decimal. And don't make it 1.03. See, the 1 is right there, okay? Just leave the 1 out. Move the decimal twice, and it's 0.03, or just 0.03. I don't care, okay, if that helps. Now, the N is the times in a year. Now, quarterly, how many quarters are there in a football game? There's 4. So N is 4 because of the quarterly, okay? And then T is a number of years, which we have 10. Now I just put these numbers into the equation. The Y is what we're solving for, okay? So the P is going to be 500. The R is going to be 0.03, but we have to underline that and put N, which is 4. Now outside here, I make an exponent sign, and then it's N is 4, times T is 10, okay? Now 4 times 10 is 40. Now, you can solve this if you just plug this into the calculator, okay? 500, parentheses, 1 plus 0.03 divided by 4, then I'm going to need to close the parentheses. And then I raise it to the power, that's this key here, of 40. So they're going to have $674 by the end of this, okay, at the end of 10 years. Okay, next one. You deposit $100 in an account that pays 6% annual interest compounded quarterly. Find how much is in the account after 4 years. So again, I just keep on using that formula when it says compounded quarterly. I know that the table takes forever. Okay, so P is your deposit, money that you deposit, which is $100. R is the percentage as a decimal, so you need to make your 6% as a decimal, so 0.06. N is a number of times in a year, so N is 4. And T is a number of years, okay? If the years, we have 4 as well. So it's possible, quarterly 4, yep. So P is 100. R is going to be 0.06 divided by N, which is 4. Then my power, I take N, which is 4, times T, which is 4. Okay? And if you do it right, you can just plug that into the calculator. So we have 100, parentheses 1 plus 0.06 divided by 4. Then I close the parentheses and I raise it to the 16th power. So that would be 127. That's how much money they'll have. Okay, I'll do 2 more. You deposit $100 in an account that pays 4% interest compounded quarterly. Find how much will be in this account after 8 years, okay? Okay, so P. P is going to be our deposit. It says what all these stand for. That's 100. R is your percentage as a decimal. Okay, N is the number of times in a year, so quarterly, that's going to be 4. Then T is the years, which is 8. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have P, which is 100. And R, that's going to be 0.04 divided by N, which is 4. Then N times T, so we're going to have 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Plug it into your calculator and you'll find the answer for Y. Y is dollars. $138. You put 137 or 138. It doesn't really matter. Okay, last one. You deposit $2,200 in a bank account that earns 3% interest compounded quarterly. Find how much will be in the account after 6 years. Okay, so P. Okay. P, R, N, and T. I know N's 4, okay, always. The deposit's $2,200. your rate is going to be 3%, so that's going to be 0.03. And then the t is years, which is 6. Okay, so your p is 2200. 0.03 divided by n, which is 4 to the power nt, so that's 4 times 6. That is 24. Now plug it in, you got it. $2,632. Okay, you got 2 to do.